Very excited to have the opportunity to speak with you about how Kepler is working with OPC. My name is Jeff Bates. I'm a product manager with Kepler. And before we jump in, I should mention that my job is really to ensure that the product is continuously improving and that it has all the drivers and the functionality that you and your customers are looking for. So if after this presentation you have any suggestions or additional drivers or features that would benefit your application, I'd be more than happy to discuss those. So I'll start with a brief introduction to Kepler for those of you who aren't familiar. Kepler was established in 1995. We've spent the last 20 years really focused exclusively on industrial connectivity. Our core belief is that customers need a product or a connectivity platform that is easy to use and configure, but that can support myriad devices, that can handle complex network topologies, and can transfer millions of data points very quickly. So to that end, we've built a plug-and-work, off-the-shelf product that connects your industrial assets to the most critical applications. You can download a fully functional demo off of our website and be connected to the plant floor within minutes. We also understand mission-critical industries and 24/7 production environments. To that end, we've built a product to enable the highest level of reliability and security. We work across a number of different industries, and of course in all of these industries there are a number of disparate devices and protocols, and sort of pride ourselves on being able to connect to all of those. We're based in Portland, Maine, but have built out a partner network across the globe, and Novatech is our preferred partner in the Nordics and Benelux region. We've been working with Novatech for over 10 years. KepServer EX is Kepler's flagship product. We've built out a portfolio of over 150 drivers, and between those drivers they're able to communicate via over 300 protocols that are commonly found in the industries that we support. We're constantly expanding that portfolio of drivers and have recently reconfigured the product to enable quicker driver development moving forward. And I can touch on that more a little bit later. We've also seen proliferation on the interface level. The interface is the level of the between KepServer and the applications. OPC continues to be the cornerstone of our product, and we've recently added MQTT and REST protocols that are focused on the IoT. As I mentioned, Kepware is exclusively focused on industrial connectivity for the past 20 years, and that will continue to be our focus moving forward. Before I dive in, just a little bit more on the relationship between Kepware and OPC. We've been a foundation member really for as long as we've been writing drivers. We support all of the OPC classic protocols, and DA continues to be the primary pipe out of our product. In 2007, when the OPC Foundation released OPC UA, we initially supported that via a third-party stack to enable us to get to market quicker. But since then, and as has been widely discussed today, we've seen widespread adoption and are building our own native OPC UA stack, which will improve performance and stability. And I think one of the things that gets us most excited about OPC UA is not only the widespread adoption in industrial automation, but also the fact that we see it really as a key enabler of Industry 4.0 and the industrial Internet of Things. And based on the other presentations today, I don't think I will have too many people disagreeing with me on that. So one of the things that we find is that our customers, by and large, and we think the market, by and large, is really bought into the idea of the industrial Internet of Things and Industry 4.0, and are really looking to move to the implementation phase, really to capture the benefits of Industry 4.0 and the industrial Internet of Things. We find that a best practice in the implementation phase is narrowing the scope of Industry 4.0 and targeting specific benefits. So for the purposes of this presentation, I've decided to focus on Industry 4.0 and one concept within Industry 4.0, which has already been discussed, the smart factory. And so the Germany Trade and Invest organization has defined these 4 high-level benefits of Industry 4.0 and the smart factory. But for the purposes of the presentation, would like to focus on self-aware factory units and a use case that we see in a number of our customers. So again, this is an application that we see or a use case that we see in a number of our automotive customers. This represents an automotive production line and is highlighting 2 work cells along that production line. The first is responsible for bolting the suspension onto the assembly, and the second, somewhere further down the line, is responsible for bolting the wheel onto the axis. And as you can see, everything is connected to Kepserver, and they're connected despite or regardless of protocol, whether or not these devices have OPC UA embedded or not. And then Kepserver is serving this data up to a manufacturing execution system, either via OPC Classic or OPC UA protocols. And the benefit of having all these things connected to the MES system is that, say, for example, an operator loads the bolt into the robot correctly, but for whatever reason that robot doesn't apply the correct amount of torque when it's bolting the suspension on. In this situation, any work that happens to that assembly after that mistake is made is going to be wasteful. It's all going to have to be pulled off to correct the mistake, or worse yet, the car ships with the improper torque. But having these devices connected to the MES, via Kepware, the MES can recognize that the mistake is made and not allow any work to happen to the assembly after that or before that issue is remediated. And so this we really see, or when I look at this, I can see that OPC has really been enabling Industry 4.0 in the smart factory for many years. These are self-aware factory units. They have a sense of what their jobs are and how to do them correctly. But I think when most people think of Industry 4.0 and the industrial Internet of Things, they're thinking about having this data not only available at the plant level, but also available at the enterprise level. It could be for visualization for a corporate audience, or it could be for benchmarking across multiple sites. Say, for example, this represents a German factory where this torque issue happens once a month. But the same enterprise could own a plant in Japan where, say, this torque issue happens 3 times a week. If all this data is available at the enterprise level, you can recognize this, and the German plant can share best practices with the Japanese plant. The problem, as many people have mentioned, is that most of the time the enterprise network is separated from the plant network via a firewall or a DMZ. But OPC UA is changing that. The benefit of having all of these devices connected to Kepware is that you can really just add this OPC UA pipe. And that will make all of the data, not just the data that comes from machines with OPC UA embedded, but also your legacy devices available at the enterprise network. A couple of individuals have talked about a gateway to connect legacy devices, and Kepserver EX can function very well as that gateway. So in this example, these applications at the enterprise network level are able to consume through OPC UA or any of the transport protocols supported by OPC UA. Could be Microsoft Azure, could be others. But Kepserver also offers a tunneling solution in case those applications are not able to consume the data through OPC UA or supported transport protocols. And in this, with the tunneling solution, an instance of Kepserver EX at the plant level is able to communicate through an OPC tunnel with an instance of Kepserver EX at the enterprise network level. And then up to the applications through any of our northbound interfaces. And this is a highly secure solution. I think security is obviously a critical concern for most customers. This solution was tested by an industry association in the oil and gas space called Linking the Oil and Gas Industry for Improved Cybersecurity. And I'm happy to provide additional information on the solution. But the oil and gas industry is one of the industries that weathers the most sophisticated cybersecurity attacks. And the independent research lab that tested this OPC UA tunneling solution was unable to breach it. So very secure solution. So this is really just one example of how OPC UA and Kepware are enabling the industrial Internet of Things in Industry 4.0. There are many others. We'd be happy to discuss those with you. But with the couple minutes that I have left, wanted to give a sense of the roadmap for Kepserver EX. We are, some of you may have seen that we're preparing for a major release. Version 6 is targeted to come out next month, and all of these features will be available in version 6. As I mentioned, we'll be building, or we have built our own OPC UA stack, which will result in improved stability and diagnostics, and will also create a foundation and enable us to offer these higher level OPC UA features in upcoming minor releases. We will also, our core functionality will be offered in German and Japanese in this release. We're also offering a configuration API, which will allow third-party applications to remotely configure the Kepserver runtime. We think that'll be useful for larger enterprises with multiple locations. We're also improving the licensing experience, just an improved experience and also targeted at customers with multiple instances of Kepserver EX. And then lastly, we've improved the user interface to be a little bit more unified, be a little bit more intuitive, and just be easier to use. As I mentioned, all of these are built on a reconfiguration of the product that will enable us to offer additional drivers and additional features and functionality more quickly. So again, if any of you are interested in additional features or drivers, or have customers that are, I'd be more than happy to discuss that now or after the presentation, and happy to answer any questions that you have.